Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Power Book 2 Ghost Episode 2 preview theories. We've gotten at least a good sense as to what's coming the rest of the season, courtesy of that trailer that came after tonight's premiere episode.
Yeah, where they kind of gave us a look ahead at pretty much the whole season.
There's a lot going down, and maybe somewhere eventually in here we actually get Ghost's funeral. I don't know how long they're going to stretch that out.
Yeah, it looked like we were getting that. I saw Tate in there.
Tate finally gonna show back up in Power. It felt like that was gonna happen eventually. He's gotta keep up some appearances, especially
Yes,
if Ghost is gonna be sold, as we know now, as this innocent bystander, or at least someone who was just mostly being controlled by Queen Pin Tasha.
that's right. Democratic Party guy, come in and clean it all up, make sure it's all good.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we'll talk about some of what we saw in there. But before we dive in, if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We have our full reaction to the premiere up, so check that out as well. And support us further by taking a look at our links in the description to the store and also our Patreon. We have live chats there the last Sunday of every month.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think the big story here is obviously Tasha is in it deep, and she's in it worse now than she was earlier. I didn't think it was going to kind of work like this, where all of a sudden now it's like, oh yeah, you thought you were getting out. Now you got to deal with the whole web of stuff being thrown at you.
Yeah, and I didn't expect all of it to come out in the premiere, like everything, and sort of seeing it go from like she was going to get a couple of years and some probation to Queen Pin status.
It is
where she's looking at the needle.
It is bad. Like, this is really, like, it's all in federal crime territory now, and there's a lot of different things that Tariq is going to have to do and try to figure out. And he does seemingly have Davis on his side, but that's the real sort of push right now is he's got to get $450,000. That is not a tiny amount of money here.
Yeah, and from the promo, it looks like Tariq is going to be trying to get in with Monet and that family, and that there are going to be some lessons coming up for him.
It feels like this is really his how to be a part of the game, like, crash course that he's going to be getting even more so than what he got from Tasha.
Yep.
I think there's some exciting stuff to be had there for sure, but I really need to see that Monet operation start to get messed up and start to get sort of mixed in with everything that's going on with the prosecutors, everything going on with authorities, because if Tariq is sort of starting to get involved in some not so legal stuff, like, is that going to make the spotlight even shine brighter on him? Like, I think he needs to feel more adversity himself amidst everything that's going on with his mom.
And with everything that will be going on with Monet, I need to see Tariq make some mistakes. I need to see the learning process. He's not going to just fall into it and be perfect at it and so good at it and able to balance everything that's going to be going on in this. He's going to be learning a whole new set of skills. He's had a little bit from what was going on with his family, but it wasn't very much. Monet is real deep into this lifestyle, years and years and years. So I would really like to see, and I'm hoping that's what's going to happen with this sort of Monet training that's coming in, that we're going to see some stumbles with Tariq, and that he's going to have to really stumble hard.
I kind of hope there's some stumbles with Monet, too, if I'm being honest. Like, this is always one of my fears anytime you have, like, a spin-off or even, like, a superhero show. Like, you see one supervillain come in, and then the next season it's like, oh, we need to get an even more villainous supervillain. And it's like we've already seen Ghost, the crime boss, and all these other crime bosses. I don't want them to have this temptation of, oh, we need to make Monet more intense or better or more capable than any other person, because I don't think that one-upsmanship helps them that much.
The thing I'm really looking forward to with Monet is that she is still in the business and she still wants to be in the business, because we came in with Ghost on the first episode. He was already ready to be done with the business. We got to see him continuing with the business, but his heart wasn't in it anymore. He didn't want to do it anymore. He really wanted to get out of it, and he spent 6 seasons trying to just get out of it. So I'm really excited to see Monet, who has no intention of getting out of this. She is deep in it. She's been doing it for years, and let's see what that looks like.
I think it could be fascinating, and it's gonna get kind of weird and soapy too, because they're setting up this love triangle, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know how I feel about having a Tariq love triangle like one episode into the show.
The whole sort of teenage love triangle and his stuff at school, I wasn't as interested as in the premiere about that stuff. I'm not really that interested right now going forward with that stuff. I know that show's got to have a little bit of romance going on, but yeah, I'm not as interested in that.
Especially, it just felt like they were kind of obvious on some way too, where it was just like, okay, here's obviously one of them, his fellow student, I believe her name was Lauren, and then you've got Diana, Monet's daughter. It was just, it felt like the introductions were so, oh, hey, look, a love interest, here they are.
Yeah, it was too obvious, and it's coming up too fast. I would have really liked it if we had maybe met one and not the other right away, and kind of just give us some time. They jammed a lot into that premiere.
They did. They jammed a ton in, and I'm more interested in the Tariq Monet dynamic right now. I mean, maybe, and to some extent, Diana becomes like an accessory to that. Maybe it causes more tension, but you know, beyond all of that, the mess that is going on with the U.S. Attorney's Office, like, I think a big part of the story moving forward is going to be, can Saxe actually pull this off and pull it off in a way where he's able to have ultimately Tasha gone for good? And because I don't think he's going to, but what happens if that doesn't happen? Does that mean the downfall of him?
Yeah, and it probably will. I mean, the Democratic Party has been very clear about it. John Mock has been very clear about it, that he's given him his job, he can take it away from him, and he really wants to keep this job, not just for himself, but because we saw what was going on with his family, that if he has to go crawling to his little brother to get him a job, he's not going to do that.
Well,
and he's willing to sell Tasha for it.
He'll do whatever anything to have him avoid that family. I think we're all going to be grateful if we don't have to see his family on the show much anymore.
I just want to see how Saxe and that side are actually really going to be able to connect the dots to pin all of this stuff on Tasha, because she was involved, but she really just knew a lot of that stuff. Like, how, I want to see, how are you going to pin these murders on her? How are you going to pin the whole, drug empire on her? How are you actually going to do that? Because there's going to have to be a lot of lying going on their side to make that happen.
Call me crazy, and I might be crazy, but there's a big part of me that just, I kind of want to see sort of the laundry list of power-related cameos moving forward somehow. Like, my mind is already turning with this. It's like, is there a way to get 2-Bit on this show? I love 2-Bit. 2-Bit is 2-Bit deserves something more than what he's got going on right now.
After hearing Tommy's name drop tonight, I am really hoping that somewhere in there, there's going to be a call to Tommy, or someone's going to try to get a hold of Tommy, or something about Tommy. I know that they all kind of glossed over that once Saxe handed over that paper, but I mean, his name was out there, so can it just be nothing now?
Another one I'm kind of interested in is, oddly, Elisa Marie, because... she did have somewhat of a relationship with Tariq. They went out and, they had some, what was it, hot chocolate together?
Hot cocoa.
Probably the most miserable thing ever related to hot cocoa. Hey, come out here to hot cocoa while your father's being killed. But I am curious about if somebody like that can come in, because I think ultimately Tariq is probably going to think that he's going to find some sort of foolproof way to get his mom out of prison. And the thing is, and I hope this is the point that Book 2 drives home, even if that happens, the other ghosts, pun intended, are not going to go away. They are, whether it's a Tommy, Lisa Marie, or somebody else, this is all going to keep coming back one way or the other.
For sure. And with the amount of stuff that's now being pinned on Tasha, I kind of was wondering before the season started if Tariq was going to end up falling on his own sword at some point to stop a lot of this from happening. And he can prove that he did it. So will he end up going there if his mother's actually facing death?
It is going to be a big question. I could see it happening as we get closer to the end of this season, but we do thankfully still have a lot to go with book 2. And with that in mind, let's turn this over to you guys. What do you want to see on Power Book 2 Ghost moving forward, episode 2, or even further than that? Let us know in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further, check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.